Girls, don't play rough! Hello, it is MG Kaler, aka Mariah Donahue. I am a stay-at-home mom, indie author, and I run a blog called My Southern Cottage. Now, in light of recent events, my scheduled posts and vlogs or videos have been changed because I'm trying to deal with what's happening in the world current event-wise and also waiting for my husband to come home from doing military things. So this video was supposed to be out 2 weeks ago, but I had to take care of things at home. It was delayed, but now we have it. I just wanted to talk to you about having a stocked pantry and creative cooking. Growing up, we always had a full pantry of canned goods, flour, oil, salt, sugar. I don't remember a time growing up when we didn't have a full pantry. I didn't know how much my family relied on a full pantry until I became a teenager and my family's financial situation changed. It was then that I realized that this is super important. When I got married and my husband and I got our first house through base housing, we decided that we were going to keep a stocked pantry, and I have been able to make pretty much everything side dish wise and casserole wise, soup, with the pantry ingredients. It's helped us so much. It helped us get through an unexpected bill, and we had to put all of our money towards that, and we couldn't go to the grocery store to get what we usually get. As long as I have my pantry stocked, I don't spend that much money going grocery shopping every week. I can rely on what I have stocked up. Also, you end up learning new ways of cooking foods, finding new foods that you like. Now, I am gonna go to my kitchen to show you my personal pantry essentials and why I think they're important and how I use them. So let's go to the kitchen. So this is my spice cabinet. I keep 2 other ingredients on hand as part of my spice cabinet, but I ran out of those 2 ingredients yesterday making a vinaigrette for dinner. So I can't really show you those because, well, they're empty and gone. I have found that 12 herbs and spices can make most of the combinations of flavors that my family eats, which includes Tex-Mex, taco seasonings, my more European German cooking, that's where the mustard comes in, and the paprika. Also, some of my family's favorite spice mixes and marinades come from these 12. I have a blog post of my DIY seasonings that I have that uses most of these. I will put that link in the description. I also have cinnamon for baking, and we only use this for our oatmeal in the morning, usually. A little bit of cinnamon and some maple syrup, and that goes on our oatmeal with pumpkin seeds for the girls and fruit, and for me, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, and fruit, depending. Of course, you can't cook without salt and pepper. I have some meals that I have in the cabinet, and these are my refills. Soy sauce or a soy sauce alternative. This is the liquid aminos from Bragg. I like this. It's really yummy. It's a lot stronger than normal soy sauce, so I don't have to use a whole lot. Hot sauce. Apple cider vinegar. I use this to make sauces, vinaigrettes, and sometimes if I am thirsty and am feeling a little, you know, hipster, trendster, I'll make an apple cider vinegar drink. It's only when I'm on my cycle. I found that it helps with my bloating. I have Worcestershire sauce. Yes, I probably pronounced that right. I don't care. No one can pronounce it right. Coconut oil. I use this for most of my vegetarian dishes, or if I am making popcorn or my granola. And then I have manteca or pork lard. I use my manteca to make food, be it refried beans, tortillas, or I use it currently to season my cast iron skillets. So these stay in my spice cabinet, except for the manteca. The manteca melts rather easily, so the coconut oil and the manteca go in the pantry because it's a little bit cooler to keep it solid. But these are my spice cabinet essentials, and I feel that if you have these on hand in your pantry, you will be able to cook a variety of dishes. Okay, so this is my pantry essentials. I keep these items in my pantry at all times. I make sure that I constantly have them on hand. I have canned vegetables in different varieties for casseroles, soups, chilies. I have the luncheon meat or Spam. I have made stir fries out of this. I've used it to make ramen bowls. I fry it up for breakfast, some sandwiches. It's a good filler food. It's really salty, so if you are sensitive to salt, get the low sodium variety or don't add salt to your final dish. I always have canned soup for casseroles and gravies, rice, oatmeal, potatoes, onions, bouillon cubes. If you cannot get stock or broths, bouillon cubes are a great alternative. They are a little bit salty, so be careful with your seasoning. Peanut butter. My kids love peanut butter, and we're blessed in the fact that we don't have anybody with peanut allergies in the house. So sometimes we will put a scoop of peanut butter in their oatmeal in the morning for a little extra protein, or just as a snack, peanut butter and celery, peanut butter and apples. It's something that I grew up with to help keep the hunger away, and I just love it. It's a comfort food. I am Hispanic, or at least partially Hispanic, so pinto beans were always in my house growing up, and I continue to have them in my pantry because I make chilies, I make ham hocks and beans, we tend to eat a lot of soups with beans in them. So having these on hand is just a way to get a little bit of extra protein, and it fills you up when you know you've got to ration your pantry and groceries out and stretch that shopping trip to the next paycheck. Beans are a great filler for that reason. I always have canned tuna on hand. Again, I make a bunch of casseroles when times are hard, because I can make one big casserole and that can feed the family for maybe 2 to 3 days if I'm lucky. We also like to have tuna salad sandwiches or tuna salad on crackers. I eat tuna after my workouts, and it's just a quick way to get some protein. I have tomato paste in the tubes, mostly because I don't like the cans. I'm willing to spend a couple extra dollars to get the tomato paste in the tubes. That way I don't waste the tomato paste in the can. And I use this for stews, chilies, making rice, and just supplementing canned pasta sauce to make it a little more homemade tasting. I have a variety of pastas always in my pantry. The family's favorite is, of course, spaghetti. Which American family doesn't like spaghetti? Let me know if you like spaghetti or don't like spaghetti. Spaghetti, elbow noodles, and penne pasta are my family's favorite. I always have them on stock. We have Hormel chili or something of that. One of the favorite meals for the kids is cowboy spaghetti or Cincinnati spaghetti. It's spaghetti noodles with chili on top and cheese. The kids really like it, and it's a hard times stretching the pantry meal that the family doesn't get mad at me for. I always have garbanzo beans in my pantry for making hummus, curries, and other vegetarian and vegan foods. I like to have this at least a couple of vegan or vegetarian options in my pantry, just so I can make sure that our meat lasts us until the next payday. I also have coconut milk because my family loves curries, so I use coconut milk in my curries. And sometimes I will use coconut milk to make oatmeal or my scones if I am baking. I gave you a couple of ideas of what I use these ingredients for. I will be posting my list of pantry essential meals in my blog. Again, I will post that in the description below, as well as the full article explaining my pantry and the reasonings behind why I have all of these stocked. Alright, now we get to my favorite section of the pantry, baking. I have a variety of baking supplies always on hand. I usually have some sort of seed or nut in the pantry to make cookies out of or to top oatmeal or grits with. We have pumpkin seeds. Cocoa powder is always good to have because you can make your own cocoa mix or use it for baking. Brown sugar, baking powder, yeast. I make a lot of my own breads. My family really likes the German breakfast roll of Brötchen. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. My German is a lot better if I'm writing it than speaking it at this point. I read and write German a lot better than I speak it. So I have yeast, cornstarch, salt, baking soda. I have self-rising flour because all I have to do is add a little bit of sugar to it, eggs and oil, and I've got pancake mix, or add a little bit of butter and milk to it, and I have biscuits, It's a good thing to have on hand for like quick baking because it has the baking soda, salt, and baking powder already mixed in with the flour. I have a recipe for self-rising flour on my blog, and I will link that in the description below so you can make your own instead of buying it. I have sprinkles. I like to surprise my kids with baked goods. So I have sprinkles and chocolate chips on hand. I ran out of chocolate chips because yesterday I made trail mix with it. So I have honey, vanilla, regular all-purpose flour. This is organic unbleached flour that I managed to find at my local Walmart. I use this to make my sourdough starter, and this is also part of my pantry. I like to have my sourdough ready to make regular sourdough bread or flatbreads or quick breads. It lends a lot of flavor to my yeasted doughs, so they're not as bland. So regular all-purpose flour that's unbleached and organic for my sourdough starter and regular baking. I have cornmeal for cornbread and cornmeal mush for breakfast or whatever I need it for. Usually I use it for frying chicken or fish. And of course, sugar. I use sugar in the raw for most of my baking and everyday eating. I like the way it tastes, and I like that it's a little less processed than normal sugar. I try to limit the amount of sugar my family eats, but I have kids and kids like sweet things, so I have raw sugar to help supplement that. Anyways, I will put a bunch of these recipes and ideas that you can use using these ingredients in your pantry. And we go to the final section. So this is the last of my pantry essentials, and they're actually from my fridge. I have dressings, ketchup, eggs and butter, mustard, cheeses like cheddar and Parmesan. They tend to stay fresh the longest, and pickles. My family and I will eat pickles straight out of the jar for snacks, as well as adding them to a variety of foods like potato salad, tuna salad, macaroni salad, or my favorite dish that I like to make for the family is rouladen. Cheeses like this I use for not only tacos, but open-faced sandwiches, casseroles, and mini pizzas. So we like to have a lot of cheese in the house. Mustard is a staple in a lot of European recipes that I've found, and we use mustard on pretty much every deli meat sandwich, so this is always in the fridge. Butter and eggs are used for breakfast, baking, and regular cooking. I like to add eggs to my ramen and salads, and who doesn't like having butter in the house, I mean, honestly. Ketchup, I use this as my magic sauce to get my kids to eat new foods that they're not too sure about, as well as making my homemade barbecue sauce. And dressings I use to marinate meat as well as on my salads. So that's all of my pantry essentials. I hope this was helpful for you, and if you would like me to do another video like this, let me know. And be safe, keep calm, and I'll see you next time. Bye.